Here we are going to look at the Qultura approach to attachment. Please do not confuse this with the Buddhist approach to attachments. The Qultura approach to attachment is different. In the Qultura system, attachment arises out of separateness, which is an illusion. Out of separateness and division, trauma and suffering arises. There are two types of attachment, natural and unnatural. The living are attached to physical bodies and to a natural environment. This is a natural attachment. Anything living ultimately dies. Death is trauma. If you love someone in your life, when they die you will be separate from them, and from their death you will experience trauma through bereavement and grief, which may result in suffering. The way you overcome separateness is through connection. Connection here means connection between self and environment, and also self and other. Then you have unnatural attachments. Attachment to a belief is an unnatural attachment. Any unnatural attachment is separateness. Therefore, belief in good and bad is separateness. Belief in spiritual and non-spiritual is separateness. Belief in good and evil is separateness. Belief in right and wrong is separateness. The sky does not divide sunshine from rain. Nor does the sky divide summer heat from winter cold. The sky remains the same irrespective of the weather and climate. It is still sky. The sky is always connected to the earth and to outer space. Plants, trees and animals also do not divide or create unnatural attachments. A tree does not become attached to either summer or winter, or to sunshine and rain. Your dog or your cat also does not create unnatural attachments. Your dog or cat simply accepts life as it is and is always mindful of the environment and their territory. If your dog sat you down and tried to explain Scientology to you, this would be unnatural behavior. Your cat does not freak out if you were to mention the word socialism, does it? Clinging to an unnatural attachment such as a belief comes with consequences. This is what makes you narrow-minded. This is what cuts you off from your sensory perception and felt sense of immediate experience. This is what distorts your perception of reality. Belief and ideology is ultimately what corrupts your mind and makes you stupid. All the divisions in society are born out of unnatural attachments to beliefs and ideologies, which create the division and separateness in human minds. What you think is good is just your assumption. What you think is right is your assumption. Evil does not exist in the natural world. Evil is an aspect of human cultural reality. Evil is perpetrated by those who believe that they are good and righteous. This is evidenced throughout human history and is a pattern of human behavior which repeats itself time after time, again and again. Most of the trauma and suffering experienced by human beings is done to them by other human beings. Much of the trauma and suffering experienced by other species and animals is done to them by human beings. We are born with a brilliant and powerful internal architecture of perception, sense, a felt sense of immediate experience, conception, a powerful memory and imagination, and the ability to think. When we use these faculties cohesively in a balanced way, it is a thing which is both wonderful and beautiful. We are born enlightened with everything we need for fulfilling and meaningful life. All the answers we seek in life arise from deep within us. Nature has gifted us with the talent and the role to be one of the most fascinating and amazing of all the primate species. We are able to go from perception through sense to thought in one fluid, cohesive movement. We have the capacity for care and altruism which is pretty much unrivaled in the animal kingdom. Witnessing this in reality from those who are able to use their internal architecture is a delightful experience and makes such people memorable. Sadly, this is a rare experience because such people are few and far between. Such is the nature of the human predicament. It is only human beings who believe themselves to be separate from nature and their natural environment, when in actual fact we are nature in human form. Unfortunately, we are put through a process of social conditioning and programming which corrupts the mind, disrupts our internal architecture, through which we are required to create an ego structure based on identity, role attachments and beliefs. The ego is not the real self, but is an image of self created to fit in with a pattern or paradigm of social and cultural beliefs. Through the ego, encouraged by others in society, we form attachments to identity, to roles, to external authority, to beliefs, and so we succumb to the illusion of separateness. But the ego we create through our various attachments to beliefs, identity, roles and authority is just a mask. It's just an imaginary character we play for social convention. It is not real. What is real about you is what lies behind the ego, behind the mask. If you center yourself in your ego structure, and not your real self, your perception is distorted, you become insensitive, because you cut yourself off from your senses. Your life becomes more complicated. This is because you assume you understand reality when you don't. You create an alternative version of reality on the basis of what you believe it to be. You complicate your life through your assumptions, through confusing your beliefs with reality, and you enter into conflict with others. You create a struggle and sometimes a mess of your life as a result. Your social conditioning and ego structure is not sustainable, because false beliefs and illusions do not last. At some point truth manifests. At some point there is an awakening. Out of an awakening there is insight and realization. It is important to understand that you are not the main character in the context of the unfolding dynamic of reality, existence and being. Life is not a belief system. Life is an experience of an environment that is to be navigated. What you believe is not important. What matters is your individual reality that you directly experience, and how real you become as a human being. Life is relationship, so what matters is how well you connect to your environment and other people. What matters is realizing the sense behind your thoughts and your beliefs. You cannot be a real human being if you are attached to external authority, a fixed, rigid belief system or doctrine, and if you are in conflict with other people. If you are attached to such attachments, all you are doing is role-playing or pretending to be a human being. If you are attached to an ideology and through this role-playing as a human being, then you are a risk and potential danger to other human beings. This is not natural. At some point you have to wake up from the make-believe version of life, stop role-playing and become a real human being. This requires connection and introspection.